If you had the ability to take anybody's body under your control for 5 seconds at any given time, whose body would you snatch? Your crush? Yeah, I already knew what you were thinking, you freak. The 2015 anime known as Charlotte. When I was first getting into anime, Charlotte was one of those first shows where I was honestly just like, oh yeah, that's a banger. That's a banger right there.
And I know bangers. I know bangers.
Yuo Tasaka is a first-year Japanese student that the show continuously has to remind us is overtly attractive. Now, personally, I don't know how to gauge a male anime character's attractiveness, but if the show's gonna keep going ahead and saying, trust me, bro, I'm gonna take that at face value. With that being said, apparently being an overly attractive guy that has confessions from girls around school all the time wasn't enough for this man. See, the thing about Charlotte is that this show is no slice of life. So it shouldn't shock you when I say that the main character, on top of being conventionally attractive, has his own superpowered ability. That ability being the power to take control of anybody's body that he wants to. Well, with 2 drawbacks on top of that. You see, he can only do it for 5 seconds, and at the same time, the person whose body he takes control of has to be in his line of sight. But regardless, he can take anybody's body if he wants to. A literal body snatcher. Now, immediately, the first thing you think about is, if this power were to land into the wrong hands, which I'm looking at y'all because I know some of y'all niggas is freaky as shit. Don't try to deny it now. Don't try to deny it now. If this power were to land in the wrong hands, it may just create a monster. And unfortunately, our boy Yu is no different from anybody else. Now, y'all remember what I said earlier about him being overtly attractive not being enough for this man, because when he saw the capability of his powers, he immediately used that to excel past all his peers in terms of academics. He cheated on tests, he became the #1 student in his grade, he even used it in order to get into one of the best schools in the country. Now look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm the picture perfect model citizen that you should definitely take an example from, but I'm gonna say this. I can let this slide. This is understandable stuff. You feel me? I probably would do the same thing. Or either that or I probably have people wire money to my account. But that's neither here nor there. But I'll admit, we kind of do have to draw the line at attempting murder. And I'm not going to sit here and be with the technicalities of, oh, he didn't really mean it. No, he 100% meant it. You know what? Let me just explain the situation. So our boy Yu, being so popular amongst the girls in the school, gets a lot of confessions. Oh, and don't forget, y'all, this has nothing to do with his powers. It's just because this man is overly attractive. At least that's what the show keeps telling us, like, more than it should. Now, the thing about it is that this man continuously shoots down these confessions because he already has his eyes set on a baddie. A real one, a ride or die, a future wifey-to-be. He already knows who he wants to pick. Oh, and by the way, if you guys are waiting for me to tell you this girl's name, I don't even remember it, and honestly, it doesn't even matter. This actually reminds me of one of those Disney Channel situations where the main character is like, oh my goodness, Helen Hamilton, she's like the hottest girl in school. In a second though, I'm gonna show you how much different this situation is compared to those Disney situations. Now, Yu feels that using these powers, he has the capability of winning this girl over, and he comes up with a bright idea. And it goes as such. In a manner in which he doesn't look like a complete stalker, Yu will follow his crush after school and wait for the perfect opportunity. Once he sees the perfect opening, he will then take control of her friend and have her lead the situation so that she doesn't interfere with his plan. Once she's completely out of range, he will then take control of the driver of the nearest vehicle and veer it towards his crush, which, by the way, hopefully at the end of this plan, she's still alive, because if she's not, then that's gonna be a bit of a problem. But this will be his crowning moment. See, he will then proceed to play White Knight and save her from certain death. I mean certain death. Like, she completely freezes. Like, she will die if he doesn't save her. Like, he proceeds to save her from certain death. And with that, she will fall in love with him because of the fact that he saved her. Absolutely bulletproof plan. Brilliant, actually. I don't mean presidential motorcade bulletproof glass necessarily. I mean more of like fake bulletproof vest that you wear just for the fashion type of plan. So now I want to do an activity with y'all. I want you to turn to your neighbor if you have a neighbor. If you don't have a neighbor, go ahead and do this to yourself. I want you to pat that person on the shoulder real quick. And I want you to tell them, maybe murder isn't the best way to get a bad bitch. With that being said, that shit worked. Good for him. But unfortunately for our boy Yu, this is where his entire reality starts to crumble. See, it all starts one day when this man Yu is called into the office and is immediately hit with the accusation of cheating on all his tests. Blasphemy! I cannot believe what I am hearing right now. These lies. See, honestly, the craziest part about this isn't even the fact that this man's being accused. It's the fact that they immediately tell him that he has to take a test to prove that he's not lying right there, right then. Like, at that point, I'm not gonna lie to you, homie, you're cooked. This man even tries to use his powers to cheat, but realizes pretty quickly that there are no answers for him to use in that room. But you know what? That's the least of his problems, because as soon as he's done using his powers, that's when he figures out that he's been caught red-handed doing it. Now Tomori, a girl that just randomly appears out of nowhere in the middle of this room, explains that she had been documenting the misuse of his powers over the last couple days. And what does our boy Yu do in response to this? Of course, that man gets the fuck out of there. After this, a chase ensues that pretty much destroys the entire city, and ends with Tomori catching up to our boy and pretty much giving him nowhere else to run. See, this is the part where Tomori explains that these powers that Yu has actually aren't only unique to him. Apparently, there are many people who have superpowers, all of them differentiating from each other, but at the same time, everyone being a superhuman individual. One thing stays constant though. Once you hit a certain age, you lose your powers, so you will never have your powers once you go into adulthood. Due to this reason, these powers must be kept secret, because if the government finds out, then that child will be taken away and have tests run on them. This is the part where Tomori gives him an ultimatum. I ain't gonna lie to you, my boy. You either stop using those powers for your own good and safety, or you come with us to Hoshinomi Academy, a place specifically designed to keep the superpowered youth safe. With those being the only two options on the table, our boy Yu's like, all right, I'll come to your little school. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the start to Charlotte. Now, I'll admit, this show actually has a lot of layers to it. Like, I'm talking about, like, there is so much emotion put into the show. It's one of those ones where you kind of watch it and you think you get the gist of it, like, through the first episode. But as you go through the episodes, you start to realize, oh yeah, this goes far deeper than you think it would. There are some good plot twists in this show. There's a lot of character development that I love, and the storytelling is amazing. Honestly, there was a couple, I will admit, there's one scene in the show that almost made me cry. But I'm telling you this right now, this show is amazing. It's goated. It's really slept on. It's a gem that I know a lot of people probably don't know about. If you have not watched the show, you got to watch the show. This show is a banger. Oh, and before I forget, you remember that girl that this man almost damn near killed just so that he could get her to fall in love with him? Yeah, well, when he told her that he had to move schools for reasons that he couldn't explain, this girl dumps him on the spot. Oh, you gotta move schools? Word? Okay, say less. Like, it's honestly such a hilarious moment. Like, this man is so stunned in that moment. He's like, dang, it's that easy for you to just throw me to the curb like that? But then again, I guess this is him getting a taste of his own medicine, right? But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I want to say thank you, Jupiter, for the recommendation for this anime. I remember watching this when I was just getting into anime. So when I got this recommendation, I was like, okay, hold on. I can actually kind of do this one, because I was like, I kind of already know the plot, you know. But going back and watching it was great, you know. It was a great rewatch. There's another recommendation that I have that I actually have to rewatch the not rewatch. I have to watch the entire series, so I'm gonna get around to that. But regardless though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I put you guys on. If I haven't, then you know, if you guys have seen this, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This anime is super funny, by the way. I didn't really put that in there. It's funny. It had some really nice romantic moments, some nice sincere moments, sad moments too. It's a roller coaster. You guys definitely have to watch this series. But regardless though, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Shit, this is the longest video on my channel. No, second longest video. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all next week. And yeah, I don't got no intros, no outros. All right, I'm out.